Now, there is one habit that millions of people do every single day, and chances are this is something that you do as well, and this is slowly destroying your focus, your ability to concentrate, your mental health. And the scary thing about this one habit is most people, they think it is normal, but it's not normal. And in fact, we thrive without it, so why are we even doing it? Well, let me explain. I'm gonna first give you some context so that everything makes sense. Part number one, that familiar feeling. Have you ever had that day, that one day where you just feel off, right? You feel just drained, you feel tired, you feel like there's something off. Your brain feels foggy, you can't focus, and even simple tasks feel way heavier than they should. And for a second, you thought that you were the only one going through that, but then you talk to other people, you talk to friends, and you find out that actually a lot of people go through that. A lot of people have those same symptoms of, whatever that might be. Now, I want to do a study just out of curiosity. Comment weird in the comments below if you have felt that feeling before. The feeling of just, being in a rut, the feeling of not having everything figured out, and feeling almost like a little bit confused about your life, feeling down, feeling drained. So I'm curious to see how many of you actually experience that from time to time, whether that's once a week, whether that's every day, or a couple times a week. Now, if you watch my videos, you are gonna love the content and the videos that are coming next. So subscribe to the channel and let's go to part number 2, isolation. Now, the habit that you don't realize is making you miserable, is harming your mental health and ruining your focus, is isolation. And this is not just in the sense of being alone. Let me explain. So this has everything to do with your environment. Basically, if you're in a big environment, right? If you're in an open environment, if you're outside in nature, then your mind is going to be producing big thoughts. But if you're in a small environment all the time, you're just in your room and you don't leave your room and you're just home all the time, then your brain is going to start producing negative thoughts and small thoughts that have no capacity for growth. Basically, your environment dictates your thoughts. So the actual number one habit is not just staying in your room, that's part of it, but it's also just isolation in general. And a lot of the times when you do stay in your room all the time, when you stay in your house all the time, you are isolated. So I have noticed with myself firsthand the days that I stay home. So I had a few days where I was sick last week. This was like 2 days and I didn't leave the house. Like I barely left the house. And I just felt like my mental health, I just felt so unclear. I had all this brain fog and my mental health wasn't in the right place. And at first I didn't really make the connection. And I'm like, maybe I'm just feeling off or I'm feeling like this because I don't know, something else happened. But then I made the connection and it became very, very clear. The only reason I was feeling the way that I was, which was, lack of focus, lack of clarity, was just because I needed a environment switch. I needed to just change environment and go outside and do something else. And as soon as I realized that, everything changed for me because then I started to go outside again and, get out of my old routine and start a new routine. And I started to feel lively again. I started to feel like my best version. Just one small switch, one small thing that I did, and all of a sudden, I started to feel this influx of energy and I started to feel like I was vibrating at a very high frequency. Now, the truth is, being isolated is messing with you. It is physically, mentally, and emotionally messing with you. Literally 1 day or 2 days is enough for you to actually start to feel these things. And the problem is, once it starts, it's too late. So pretty much isolating yourself, being home alone all day and not going outside, not going out into nature and going exercising, moving your body and freeing up your mind, it makes you feel bad. And because you feel bad, you're going to want to do the same things again. You're going to want to stay home because you feel bad. And then that's going to make you feel even worse. And then the cycle just continues and repeats itself. It's like you should be spending a lot of time outside your house, right? Even if you have work and even if you're doing home office, remote work, it doesn't matter. You can just go to a cafe, take out your laptop and work over there. Just change up environment. There are so many things you can do that will literally shape your mental space. Because if you really think about it, all the success that you want is just waiting for you to be in the right state, the right emotional state, the right mental state and physical state to be the person who deserves that success, right? If you're not the person who is aligned with your goals, with your visions, with everything you want to achieve, then you're not going to get there. And one very big thing is it starts with environment. Because your environment shapes the person you become, and then the person you become attracts the life that aligns with that. Now, part number 3, the good day protocol. So this is a protocol. If you follow this protocol, which is a list of habits and steps, then every day will be a good day. Your average day will be way better, and even the bad days won't be as bad. So number 1 is get outside first thing in the morning, right? For your circadian rhythm, you want to get sunlight into your eyes right after you wake up. And just the feeling of being outside first thing in the morning is unparalleled. There is nothing like it. Now, number 2 is call a friend, text somebody, or have a real life conversation. Because the moment you stop talking to people, you start talking to yourself, right? You're literally deflecting your own ideas and thoughts back to yourself. And then you just have this feedback loop and it never gets quieter. So instead, you're going to want to deflect your energy somewhere else. You're going to want to talk to somebody, exchange your ideas, and just talk about your goals to a close friend. Talk about, what you're feeling, and just talking to people, sharing your ideas, bouncing your life goals, and just like saying what you want to say and expressing yourself to somebody else. That is really powerful. Number 3 is exercise once per day. So exercising outdoors is obviously the best case scenario, but you can also exercise indoors. Also, a big thing about, staying home is if you stay home, chances are you are not gonna exercise. You're gonna be stationary, you're gonna be sedentary all day. Now that is very bad for your mental health. It's very bad for your focus, for your general health as well. So one thing you can implement at home is stretching, movement, making sure that you're moving your body. You can stretch on a pull-up bar, you can stretch on a yoga mat, you can stretch anywhere and for however long that you want. But stretching is it releases tension in your mind. And the 4th and final thing that is going to change everything is having you moments more often, right? The moment where you don't have your phone, you don't have music, you don't have external stimulus, and you're just by yourself with your thoughts. That is so important because you're just giving yourself the space to think, the space to be the best version of yourself, and the space to be creative. Because if you constantly have, things that you have to do, and you always have your phone, and you always have you're always watching a video, always doing something, you never give yourself the real chance to reset. So give yourself that moment of freedom and allow yourself to just start from scratch. So I had a phase in my life where I was pretty isolated for a long time, right? And what I did there is I started to surround myself with the right people. And ever since then, my life started to change. I started to do all of the good habits, surround myself with the right people and with the right knowledge and the right media and the right content as well. Everything that goes into shaping your environment and shaping the person that you are, you have to really monitor your inputs because your inputs create the life that you live. Now, if you want to surround yourself with highly ambitious people, then click the link in the description below and check out our school community. Take care, and you got this.